I would much rather buy Algorand's native token called ALGO over Ethereum. Now, this may ruffle some feathers, but I have to say it because I actually believe in it, and I just believe that it's just a much more logical pick for me. I mean, just think about this, right? Even though nothing I say is financial advice. You got to think about how if ALGO were to, let's say, go to the price of $5, considering current circulating supply, market cap would be around $41 billion. Now, that's around a 38x from here. Now, let's say Ethereum were to do a 38x from here. At that point, market cap would be approximately $11.4 trillion, and the price would be around $95,000. I mean, man, that's just a little bit too ridiculous. The GDP of the UK back in 2022 was around $3 trillion. So it's like around 11.4 trillion logical during this bull run, or if ever. I mean, come on, man, this is just ridiculous. Also, on top of that, Ethereum, I don't think it can go to like the price of $95,000 during this bull run. I mean, come on. Could it go to like the price of $10,000 during this bull run? I think so. But again, over 90 grand, yeah, nah. I just don't think that's a reality. The days of Ethereum doing over like a 30x, for instance, I think it's kind of in the backseat. I think it's in the past. I think nowadays, something like ALGO, just has more room for growth, hypothetically speaking. If I could only put all my eggs into one basket during this bull run, ALGO or ETH, ALGO is a no-brainer pick for me. Why would I choose ETH? Some influencers out there, they like to say that, yeah, we're going all in on ETH. But if they have like millions of dollars, okay, I understand that, I guess. But even if I had that much, why would I put any in Ethereum? I think ALGO is just much better for me. Now, again, no one has to follow what I do. This isn't, financial advice. But just personally speaking, I'm looking for hypothetical gains here. I'm not looking for dinosaurs. So again, I think ALGO is just a much more logical pick for me. And even if we take a look at fundamentally speaking, just as a layer 1 blockchain, I think Algorand is just much, better than Ethereum. Because if I really think about it, you take a look at something like Ethereum, sky-high gas fees, scalability issues often is noted, right? Arguably speaking. Does Algorand have these caca nonsense problems? No, it does not. Very scalable. Gas fees are very low. Now, granted, there are Ethereum layer 2s out there that combats all this type of nonsense for Ethereum quite essentially. I understand that, but, if let's say I want to build a project on, a layer 1 blockchain, why would I choose Ethereum? I don't want to deal with that. You know what I mean? I'd much rather just choose something like Algorand that's good straight off the gate, so to speak. Again, I really love its amazing fundamental qualities. And also, not to mention, when it comes to Algorand, it's currently the technology of choice for over 2,000 global organizations. So you got to imagine that. For the people out there that say that, oh, wow, Algorand is caca, all this type of stuff. Do you think if it was so caca, it would be like the technology of choice for over 2,000 global organizations? Absolutely not. This is reserved for amazing quality projects, and I believe Algorand is exactly that. And also, not to mention, we take a look at how Algorand already has over 500 decentralized applications on its ecosystem. So yeah, that's very impressive. Now, granted, it's absolutely dwarfed by Ethereum. I understand that, Ethereum in this sense does completely embarrass Algorand. But hey, man, Algorand, it showcases that, it's not a small project by any means. Now, also, not to mention, we take a look at how when it comes to Algorand as well, right? It's been noted that it's fully carbon neutral. Now, this is going to play to its advantage, in my opinion, because nowadays, enterprises, they want to go green, much like my shirt. But yeah, besides that point, you take a look at how they want to care about the environment. So what better way to do that than adopting new technology that's environmentally friendly? Something like Algorand, again, that's carbon neutral. And I think this is going to play to its advantage, especially in the long term. In the short term, maybe not really. But again, as more and more enterprises look into Algorand, it's going to benefit it because imagine, right? Let's say they're choosing between Algorand and another competitor. And let's say the competitor has like pretty much same fundamentals, but then it's not carbon neutral. If that enterprise, let's say, cares about the environment, if they want to go green, if they want to be sustainable, most likely they're going to choose something like Algorand because, again, it does fit with their whole agenda of going green. So I think when it comes to Algorand, it's just really positioning itself for such an amazing future. And I really love that. They even care about these small details, right, which I really love. It shows that, they're not lazy, they're not complacent. Other projects out there, they don't really care. But hey, when it comes to Algorand, that's what I really love about it. It's actually a serious project, not some random caca nonsense, if that makes sense. And the crazy thing about Algorand is that its energy consumption is so low to the point that, per year, it only consumes as much energy as around 10 American homes. Whereas something like Bitcoin, which I understand is a apples to oranges comparison, but I'm just going to mention this nonetheless, per year on average, it actually consumes more energy again, on an annual basis than the entire country of Finland. I mean, that's just ridiculous, man. I mean, come on. Whoa, that's kind of insane. If you really think about it, I mean, I know like about 30 people from Finland watch me, so shout out to Finland. But even besides that, it's kind of crazy to think about how Bitcoin uses that much energy. Per year, it consumes as much energy on average as around 8.5 million American homes. So yeah, you got to imagine that. The energy consumption for Bitcoin is just through the roof. Now, granted, again, it's not directly comparable to something like Algorand, but I still think that if anything showcases just how efficient Algorand really is. Now, not to mention, this bull run is going to be amazing because even despite, Bitcoin consuming a lot of energy, I still think it's going to do well because of the Bitcoin ETF, the number of institutional investors, enterprise adoption. Of course, that's all fantastic stuff. So I could see very well Bitcoin going to the price of $150,000 during this bull run. I could see it happening, especially with all those amazing factors. Also, you combine that with the fact that there's currently over 500 million crypto owners, which is kind of insane. That's more than ever before in history. Now, this is according to Crypto.com research. So that right there could really create like a perfect storm in a sense, in a good way, of course, for cryptos just in general. However, it's really just a waiting game at this point because, quite frankly, I can't wave a magic wand and demand the price to pump like right now. You know what I mean? But even besides that, what is my strategy? Dollar cost averaging, acquiring, holding, and just waiting. That's it. Because around a year from right now, things could look so different. Now, why do I use a year specifically? It's not just some random date that I pulled out of a hat and said, yeah, it's going to pump then. Because historically speaking, altcoins, they've been known to peak as a worst case scenario around 18 months after a Bitcoin halving event, which would be actually around October of next year, around a year from right now, based on the last Bitcoin halving event, which happened back in April. Again, that's around 18 months from then. So yeah, I mean, just around a year from right now, things could look so different. Now, granted, could it happen like sooner? Absolutely. You just never know. But again, it's not, really waiting that much longer, even as a worst case scenario. Now, I'm going to harp back to another point that I mentioned earlier on the video. Algorand, again, at the price of $5, current circulating supply, considering that market cap would be around $41 billion. Not too bad. We've seen Dogecoin reach over 80 billion. We've seen SHIB reach around 40 billion. We've also seen BNB reach over $100 billion in market cap. So this is actually not too much to ask for, especially when it comes to something like Algorand. I mean, come on, man. Arguably one of the best layer 1 blockchains out there. Also, you consider the potential FOMO for Bitcoin and altcoins during this bull run with all those amazing factors. Also, on top of that, you take a look at how, again, Algorand has amazing adoption, the technology of choice for over 2,000 global organizations. Once that FOMO really kicks in, buying pressure, buying volume, once the sentiment changes, I don't see why ALGO, again, won't go to the price of $5. Market cap at that point wouldn't be insane. We've seen things that are far less reach far higher. So this is kind of a small bar, I think, for ALGO. And I really do believe the sky's the limit. Again, at the price of $5, that wouldn't surprise me. And I think that it's just a much better pick for me when compared to something like Ethereum, which I'm just not really a fan of. Anyways, I think Algorand is the winner here. Not financial advice, of course. And make sure to subscribe if you gain value from this video. I'd greatly appreciate it. It's been Lee the Captain. I'll catch y'all on the next one. I'm out. Peace. Bye.